Alright guys, Batchford here again, coming at you with the second and final part of this basic series I've been cooking up here. Just want to give a quick thank you to everyone who watched the last video. I honestly was not expecting the response that I got. The amount of comments I got, the amount of likes I got, the views, just everything. And everyone giving me criticism and video ideas. It was just heartwarming to read. So before I start this video, I just want to give a shout out to everyone who did that. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. Also, just want to clarify that I'm not a robot. I understand that the last video was very scripted, to say the least, so going for like a bit more off-the-cuff approach here. I still feel that scripted videos are a good idea for the channel, but I will try to sound less dead inside when I do them. Anyways, let's stop talking about robots. Let's get into the real meat of this video. The three main topics that I'm going to be discussing today are the buddy system, overextending, and communication. Regarding buddy system, make sure you're not wandering off by yourself. Like, make sure you're always around by your team. The number one mistake I really see with the buddy system is that people just wander off by themselves, like her to her into the enemy side, and they get team shot, and they just accumulate all these deaths, and it makes it really hard for your team to win. So do not be that guy. Just make sure you're with a teammate if possible at all times. Honestly, the amount of games you're going to win just by applying this one tip alone is incredible. Like, the amount of games I lose just because my teammates constantly die because they want to 1v4 the enemy team is staggering. So honestly, you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. Like, it's such a simple tip, but it's really overlooked by a lot of players. Another big no-no in matchmaking is if you see a teammate in a position, please don't wander up and stand next to them. Instead, find a place where you can, like, say, assist their angles, but from a different position. A good example is, once again, using truth. If I'm Eli, please don't come Eli. Instead, go window, or even go like Karatic and look at the same angles I'm looking at. Instead of coming up to me and giving me a hug, which means that I can't strafe because I'm bumping into you, which is really aggravating because I'll probably die. You get the drift. Just have some spatial awareness when you play the game, and it'll go such a long way in achieving a matchmaking win. One final thing about the buddy system is just, like, make sure you practice the bait and switch, which is where, you know, if I get into a fight, for example, I'll stay alive and I'll hope that my teammate will look at me and then proceed to fight the person I was fighting who's probably weak, and then clean up the kill. This is easily one of the most important things you have to learn at like a decent level of play, otherwise you will just constantly get baited by a 1v1, proceed to chase the kill, and then get punished as a result. So keep that in mind whilst you play Halo, that you don't always have to fight to death. It isn't worth it the majority of the time. Moving on to overextending now, making sure that your flag is clear is easily the top priority in capture the flag. Like, the amount of disregard for the home base in matchmaking at a decent level is astoundingly bad. Like, oh, it should not be happening, guys. Say if your base is cleared, and that's great. Then push out the lanes of the map and like try to secure kills for map control or to apply pressure to the enemy base. Now let's say if your base is a high enemy count, which means there's like 3 or even 4 people in your base, now that is the time to overextend. Apply your newfound knowledge of the buddy system to then push across like several different parts of the map so you're not holding your teammate's hand, and then you could just collapse the enemy base and basically flip the map on them. Now, most of the times in matchmaking, this will cause a flag stalemate. As the player with the flag, you have legs, you have a gun, you can still apply pressure to the enemy team. Even like a couple of shots across the map can change a gunfight. It could really help your teammates out, help them win that fight, and then apply pressure onto their flag carrier. So if you see a shot, take it. Just keep in mind your positioning of your teammates, yourself, and where the enemy are, because if you get caught with your pants down, man, that's probably a re, and yeah, your teammates are going to be pissed. Now, if you're a player who does not have the flag, then the first kill is all that you should be thinking about. As stated in the first part of the series, first kill leads to number advantage, which leads to collapsing on the enemy team. You need to use your time wisely. You must collapse on the flag guy if you know where he is, kill him, make sure that the enemies aren't baiting the flag, then re-it with your teammate if possible. This should lead to a guaranteed cap. Please do not do things individually either. Like, if you know you can hop the flag with a teammate, then do it. It'll just decrease the risk, which is only a good thing. Also, last but certainly not least, please do not desperately re when the entire enemy team is alive. There is nothing more tragic than sitting on your death camp and watching 2 of your teammates just sprint onto the flag and immediately get melted by 3 people staring at the flag. Do not do that. Get your kills, then hop the re. Talking about communication, please do not heavily breathe or make loud noises in the microphone. And if you do this, please take your controller and unplug your microphone from it immediately. There is nothing more annoying than trying to clutch up and hearing someone like crunching around with their snacks when I'm trying to get some kills. Like, can you stop? Now, we've all been there where we open our scoreboard and we see a teammate having a bad game. Let me tell you right now, putting in your microphone and calling them terrible or trash will not make them play better. In fact, it'll probably make them play a lot worse. So don't do that. Don't be toxic. Just accept that people have bad games and it happens. Now, moving into the nitty gritty of things, making sure your callouts are a good length is so important. You don't want them to be so short that you're just screaming, "There's a guy!" when you see an enemy, but you don't want them to be so long, you might as well be writing a short story of your communication. For example, a good callout could be like, "One shot blue eye going to top base," or "Half shield in yard, he has health." Phrases to your teammates such as "I have your help" or "Stay alive" can really emphasize certain decisions which can win your team the game. Kinda crazy, I know. A really high-end trait that people might not think about is being a good listener. You don't always have to be talking, you know, just listening and absorbing all the communication that the players around you are giving you can just be as important as, you know, giving your own communication. Having a good balance between calling out and listening is paramount to being a successful player in Halo, and I would highly recommend just, you know, shutting up on occasion and just absorbing what's going on, absorbing all the information, and then making a calculated play based on what information has been given to you. And with that about wraps up my beginner's guide to Halo 5. Whether you're a new player just learning the ropes of Halo, or a veteran just looking to touch up their fundamentals, I hope you learned something new in this series. I have a few video ideas in the works on stream highlights that will be starting up real soon on the channel. Thank you guys so much for the support so far, it means the world to me. So, like I said earlier in the video, I put a lot bigger emphasis on, you know, sounding more alive, like less robotic, less scripted, yada yada yada. So any criticism or constructive feedback in the comments would be greatly appreciated. I feel like the more I record, the more I do this, the easier it becomes, so I appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the growing pains. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something new today, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you guys soon. Cheers.